Hello everybody, this is otherwise known as West Coast Uncensored D-Boy, but there has been kind of a lack of, what would you say, sports activity lately, with all that's going on. I live in Southern California in the city of Santa Fe Springs, just outside of Los Angeles, about a dozen miles, maybe even that far outside Los Angeles. And I'm kind of just sitting here. I took a walk to this nice park here. It's historical. It's called Heritage Park. And I usually come here, get a little free time. There's a little bit of nature here for the city, which you don't find much nature as everything's cemented or concreted. But anyways, so came here and it's closed, which is not surprising, but I just wanted to kind of really do something a little different than what I normally do. I always talk about my best of, sports and the best of definitely the NFL and sports in general and professional wrestling. I'm just going to talk about what's going on with life, man, a little bit. With the things being so topsy-turvy, with all the stuff going on in the world that we've been so much a part of. Wow. Remain closed because of the virus. It's a sign. Let me see. You can kind of see behind me over my head now. That's what that sign says. So I walked here to get some fresh air because actually in my weekly job, daytime job, I have been shut down. I'm working still, but I'm working from home. So it's been a little stay into the house, but I want to get out and get some fresh air, which they said go ahead and do, and get some fresh air, take walks, do stuff like that, which I did. I didn't go very far, but I did take a little walk. And I'm going to walk back because I can't come here and explore and just do the things I normally do, enjoy a little sun, enjoy a little nature here. But anyways, I just want to talk and kind of come at this, man, with all the things that seem to come at us and take us off our game and could lead us down a path of negativity. And don't let situations, don't let circumstances, try to stay strong mentally. If you stay strong with a mindset that that you have, and don't get negativity, the biggest virus you could have is your mindset. If you have a bad or negative mindset, that releases into your whole body and can cause illnesses, can cause disease, can cause all those types of things that just are not beneficial for you and those who live with you and those who live around you and those who you interact with. So the biggest virus, notice that the viruses come in with people. The viruses are also connected to computers, and it can disrupt the whole program or disrupt your body being a program. Kind of just correlating it as that. But take a hold of your mindset. Man, this is a different time, a different way. Things are coming at us all the time. And a lot of negativity is thrown to us. I would say one thing: don't let the situation or them dictate to you. And the ones who cause the problem are also the one giving you the solution, because you're getting gamed if you do that. To them that hear will hear, and them that will understand, and them who don't, they just won't. But anyways, this is even an age where you see people just having a mindset of wanting to do what makes them happy, whether it's their job or their passion. I don't think it's about having a job anymore. A lot of people are looking at the fact that it's not about a job. It's about what's your passion? What makes you happy? What do you do or don't do that would make you happy about life? It's about your mindset. And sometimes, and the reality is, to conquer anything, you have to conquer yourself. If you can conquer yourself, don't let them outside forces that have been trying to draw a mindset of belief systems with no knowledge and keep you on a mindset that just isn't really productive for yourself in a belief system that's just a belief system. And I can go into depth on what that means, but them who will hear me. Whether you want to do your own business, whatever your passion is, do your own thing. And if it breaks tradition of families, if it breaks tradition of even society, as long as you're not hurting somebody, but you're breaking that tradition to do what makes you happy, you got to be happy, man. You got to be happy. So what I would shout out to everybody is I'm going to start walking towards my house, and I think I can walk and talk. I just got to watch. But you know what? With all this stuff going on here, like I said in Cali, is that people are not up. There's not as much traffic, not as much people out. Businesses are closed, which will cause a financial situation, a recession. We don't need an agency to tell us we're in recession. You are in recession. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. When that which dictates to you always tells you what you are and what to believe and how to do it, and this is what's going on. If you don't question it, where the information comes from, who's telling you this, where's this coming from, what's this belief system that you've been given come from, man, I say wake up. Smell a new day, smell a coffee, empower yourself. Empower yourself from within. Empower yourself. I've kind of dropped my belief systems. I'm not saying I got rid of them all. There's programs and viruses, even in your belief system, that try to get there and you have to keep deleting. But I'm looking for knowing. Looking to calm your ego down. When people are egocentric, it really shows their weakness. For those who see it, for those who don't see it, really would just say have a judgment on them. But if your ego leads you and doesn't follow you, you're more under prison lock and key of that than you are being the one to free yourself. If you allow those things. And that's even outside of yourself. If you believe everything that you're told by them in situations, and you do a little bit of inventory and ask yourself some questions. Do they always look out what's best for me? For one. Do they have an agenda? And why would it be? Kind of some simple things to kind of measure it by. What would it be? Why would many things be the way they are? Why would people submit so easily and not really know things, but act like they do know that certain things are certain ways, and this is what it is, so we must, and we must, and we must, and you don't even know really where it is, and you don't even know these individuals. How many times have you told your kids, why are you trusting so-and-so? Do you really actually know them? How many times you told your kids there? How many times you reflect it to yourself? There's some things that we popularize and look at, and we don't even know those individuals. And we would know somebody and not even really admonish them if they told you something that's right. And a lot of that could be different. I understand by just the maturity and knowing that you can tell somebody great information and give somebody great advice. You really can. But if they're not willing to make that change for themselves, your advice will fall to the wayside. And your ego could say, for the advice giver, can say, see, and judge them. Or you can backpedal and say maybe something was put there and a seed was planted that they're not able to take now, but maybe somewhere down the line of their life, they would apply it and it would reflect to them. Because sometimes there's a time to sow. It's not always a time to reap. A time to sow would be there's a season to plant and there's a season for the harvest. Meaning, don't let your ego get the best on having to tell everybody what's good for them. Now, there's times that you may know it's good for them, but you know it's not the time to tell them if you're self-aware and you're not ego-driven. Hear what I'm saying? Don't get mixed up in the language. Please don't get mixed up in the language. Language is one thing that will disrupt everything. And if you really notice, a lot of time language doesn't bring people together. Language will cause conflict between people, especially equivocal languages. What am I saying? What's an equivocal language? Oh, let me think. Equivocal language. Oh, English is equivocal. Why? Ask yourself, do some self-investigation, man. Look at the reality and the paradigm. Look what's connected to what. We have this thing that everybody's a pandemic, and look what it's connected to. It's connected to business and the economy following. It's connected to fear. People get fearful, and what happens when they get fearful? They get sick, because fear is not going to serve the purpose of lifting you up and keeping you positive. Fear, if you live in the fear-based situation, you do not have no peace. Hear what I'm saying? You gotta always justify and look at where it comes from. Them that know will hear me, and them that don't will go back into doing where they're at. Not a lot of times. You really only hear from the vibration you're at. If somebody's speaking something that is in another place that they don't vibrate at, they won't comprehend. No comprende. They won't understand because they can't. They're not tuned in. They don't understand. But them that understand will connect with you. But one of the biggest things is we always are looking outside ourselves. Quit looking outside of yourself. There's a wealth of jewels within yourself. There's a wealth of knowledge within yourself. Why do you think the college are having you pay money when you go to these universities? Notice a university. And guess what they don't do? They have you pay, guess what? Currency for intuition. It's a play on tuition. But your tuition is within you, and it's intuition. And that's the real deal, because when you operate in your intuition and take it up higher, it ain't a believing. It's a knowing. There's a change from always, I gotta believe. When are you gonna start knowing? When are you gonna start knowing some things? When are you gonna start knowing and tap into yourself and know that you're the life source you're connected to is the universe? And it's the connection there. And I know people get offended. I'm not gonna I don't praise the German king anymore. Those who get that will understand. Know yourself. Know who you are, and the more you know yourself, you'll take care of yourself. The more you know yourself, you'll understand yourself and your capabilities, your weaknesses to strengths, and what's important. What am I saying? Don't let situations and them who keep dictating, even though you see the masses keep following the dictation. Learn to be a free thinker. That's what I'm talking about. Learn to be a free thinker. Not always connected to a belief system which is not going to serve you. It's going to actually bring you down. Be a free thinker. I'll tell you what, they don't want free thinkers in this society, because they're going to question things, and they're going to do a little research, and they're going to find out that some things ain't really what they set out to be. And I'm finding out it ain't just some things. Many, many things. So be that free thinker, man. Connect to yourself. Connect to what's deep within you. Your very essence of yourself. What drives you? What makes you happy? Is it working your 9 to 5? If it is, do it. Or how many people are out doing something, it's just a paycheck so they can pay their bills. But it doesn't really their passion. It doesn't really make them happy. It doesn't really serve the purpose. It really doesn't serve. I'm out here walking the streets, 12 miles outside of LA. I've seen 4 people. This is the first most beautiful day we've had in probably 2 weeks. I think even tomorrow's a little even better warmer, a few degrees. It's probably 67, 68. The sun's out. We've had rain off and on, and thunderstorms and rain all for about the last 10 days, maybe close to 2 weeks. And now we have a little bit of a nice day. I'm going for a walk. And I wasn't told not to. But I refuse I refuse to live in fear. I refuse to live in fear. And I would not let fear, which is the biggest mindset and which is the biggest virus, which is the biggest pandemic of anything being threatened. It's the fear factor of this. It goes in all sizes. It goes in all mindsets. It goes in all things that you may want to do. It goes in all things. When you face your fears is where the biggest growth of your life will be. It can be the biggest growth of facing your fears, going outside the box. Even facing something that you believed all your life, and then you find out it's a hoax. It's a job. It's an inside job. Then you turn your face inward and go and you multiply yourself by knowing yourself the best you can. If that makes sense. For them, it makes sense too. You know what I'm talking about. For them, don't. Hopefully you will. So why am I saying this? With everything that's happening, be watchful. But look out for yourself. Look out for your family. And don't trust everything you're told. When you start seeing and understanding yourself in your own voice, and that deep voice within yourself of who you are and what you're connected to, you will not. You will hear and see and kind of put some things together, and you can start arranging for the reality to come out in a different way. Why am I saying that? Because you'll see things how they are. You see that realities are built like homes are built. Paradigms are built for purposes that people would live in them and not see outside of it. As the old saying goes, when somebody is out inside something, they don't really always get the good view of what's happening within it until they get outside of it and they're able to look and then kind of witness. Okay, usually a higher look, go a little bit higher, go to the second story, go to the rooftop and look down, and then you go, okay, when I was in this, I really didn't see what was going on. Now that I am outside of it, things look a little bit clearer, and I can say, okay, who is hosting this? Kind of like a computer host. Oh, yeah. Think about certain things. Think about your connection to the all. Your connection to all that is. Your connection to that. But a mindset that has got distraction all the time and really doesn't see this, but they see one thing. They see a problem. Notice the word problem. They see the problem, but I'm going to tell you something that's greater than problem. Before there is ever a problem, there's always a solution. And if you look at the word solution, notice the word solution. It's connected to S-O-L, you. The soul of you is etymology. The solution has predestination, has preeminence over the problem every time. You're just looking at it in the wrong order. You're looking at the problem, trying to find the solution when the solution was already given to you from within, and it was given to you before there ever was the problem, so that you can learn to reverse engineer that and take care of it. And really you realize problems are very minute and don't have any power, that the solutions are within you the whole time. So what I'm going to say in that is that you have that power is within you. A lot of times, them that have the power and control don't want to know the power that you really have. Notice a lot of times certain things happen at certain instances, especially around the solstices. We're told to stay in at the summer solstice, or the spring solstice, when everything becomes new, when the allergies are out, which will be respiration problems, right? Mm-hmm. Start thinking for yourself, people. Start learning and start thinking for yourself. Situations. How many times do you go to the doctor these days, and then the doctor tells you, I remember back when I was a kid, I go to the doctor and they said, let me see your tongue. I don't do that no more. They're able to read the tongue and even tell you what your digestive system is going on, if there's a problem in this system, and they would know that by just looking at your tongue. You don't see that no more. Think about it. Ask yourself questions, magnify the questions. Be a free thinker. Do your research and quit doing the research of them who gave you the research to do to keep you in the same mindset. Come on now. You got to go past the borders of what people given you. You have to. If you want to grow and if you want to be in that same mindset by them same people in that same way, then you just keep doing what you're doing. It will work for you the way it's been working for you. Fear. Being conquered, having an agenda, have a righteous place within you, make plans, be a creator, do those things that supersede those things that don't have any value to you, but maybe have value for people that just don't have really any interest in what's best for you, but they only have interest in is what's best for them or their organization or just what they do. Think about it. Be a free thinker. Don't live in fear. Be motivated. What is motivated? Look at the word motivated. What motivates you? Do you have struggles with motivation? Do you have struggles finding out what makes you happy? Do you have struggles at doing the things that you want to do? Do you have struggles of even, you can warm the fire, you can even fill the car with gas, but after a short drive, you want to come back, put the car in the garage and park it, and you don't get in the car for another week. And this is all I'm talking about metaphorically. Think about it. But more and more I do investigations, the more and more I realize I wasn't taught things correctly, and a lot was left out. Just a fact. And the more and more that I find that out, the more and more I inquisitive to that the whole story isn't going to be told to the subjects, because if you tell the subjects certain things, they'll believe it, instead of telling the subjects things that would benefit them. You want to keep them subject. You can tell them they're powerful, you can tell them they have purpose, but it's always within your benefit of your frame and your paradigm and your reality that you created for them, that they had nothing to do with the creation, because the creation was done to keep you in that rabbit hole of the reality they created, which has nothing to do with you, and you're stuck. Kind of the Alice in Wonderland story. Also, the story goes even to some other stories like Wizard of Oz. I won't break those down, that stuff, but I do know how. I just want people to think. Start asking questions. There's this guy that I've listened to that really brings out some good content named Dane Calloway, and he brought out stuff. He has a little website, and he has videos he puts out, and it's called "I'm Just Here to Make You Think." Appreciate that. I won't copy him, even though I really like his organization. But I'm here just to motivate you to think. How about that? I'm here to motivate you to think. Or them have a rethink how many of this connects to you and goes, man, those are the questions I was asking. Those are the questions I wanted to know. Those are the questions that I dealt with. And those are the feelings that I have. Because I know a lot of my feelings about a lot of stuff of this reality come even in my childhood. I used to question things within myself. Not always, sometimes to adults, but sometimes I would question certain things about certain situations and certain things. And then I would think about it, and I always knew certain things. I go, that just really isn't true. That just doesn't fit with me. It just doesn't seem right. It just doesn't seem like that's the reality or the real of the situation. I still do that, but I even did that as a child and kept it to myself for years. And then what it did, it actually it was like paying forward with the thought, and then later the thought came back to me, and then doors started opening and reality started opening of what the reality is that we live in. Don't let me get on stuff like that. I could get on the banking system. I can get on country versus corporation, all that stuff. I know what those are. I'm not going to get dead. Just question things. Again, be a free thinker. Be a free thinker. Have a great day.